All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, welcome everybody. Appreciate you taking the time to join our exclusive Insider Web class today. My name is Phil Dees. I'm a founder and senior advisor consultant at the Win Group based out of Seattle, Washington. We're really excited to introduce our host for today's webcast, Jeremiah Desmarais. A little bit about him. He's a top-ranked award-winning insurance and financial marketer. He's been featured on TED Talk, ABC, Fox, NBC. He also has a number one selling book called Shift, and he really specializes in harnessing some of the marketing strategies that he's done with other advisors nationwide. And here's going to be talking about some of those unique marketing strategies using email marketing and some of the things he's done to enhance the responses for advisors across the nation. So with that being said, real excited to introduce Jeremiah. Thanks for being on our webinar webcast today.
Phil, thank you so much. It's an honor. Love to see what you guys are doing out there and how you're getting in the front lines to help advisors. And also thanks, of course, to Matt Pardine and the entire team at Insurance WebEx for hosting this event. So if you came to this call today looking for a way to generate more qualified prospects using super simple cold email templates and LinkedIn, you're definitely at the right place. This is a live call. It's not pre-recorded. So in order to just make sure that we've got a pulse out there, folks, can you go ahead and in the question box today, just go ahead right now, put the word yes if this is the class you came to show up for, and that'll make sure that you hear me and that you can see my screen. All right. So go ahead, put the word yes. Octavia, John, Steve, Leroy, Deborah, Ward, Otis. All right, all the yeses are coming in. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, guys, really appreciate that interaction. By the way, I will be asking for interaction on this call, and it's really not for my benefit. Ivy League studies have shown that if you actively participate in a learning experience, especially virtual, right? You're there sitting at your desk, watching your screen and listening to my voice. Sometimes it can get a little monotonous because you don't feel the energy of the other attendees around you. So by engaging, you actually will increase your memory retention by 40% or more. And I'm assuming you want to remember these techniques. So I want to kick off with a quote by Tony Robbins, one of my mentors, who says that a real decision is measured by the fact you've taken a new action. And if there's no new action, you haven't truly decided. Well, those of you that are on this line today, you are truly folks who have taken action. You know, thousands of people were invited to this call, hundreds registered, and here you are today taking action. And if you came to this call looking for a way to make your life better in the area of seeing more qualified prospects, then you're definitely in the right place. And I definitely want to congratulate you, and salute you, because you could be doing so many other things right now, but you've decided to invest in yourself. So I couldn't be prouder to be on the line here with you today. I do have to put this little disclaimer up here that my attorneys tell me to, because you're going to hear about some outrageous numbers. They might seem a little hypey at times. I can tell you they're 100% verifiable, but I don't want you to get the impression you're going to make the same amount of money as my private clients, because of course success is determined by several different factors, right? There's hard work, there's work ethic, there's stick-to-itiveness, there's the power of testing. But bottom line, if you believe in the adage that I do, which is if it is to be, it's up to me, and we don't blame other people when we don't succeed, we look internally and we realize that nothing changes before we change, go ahead and put the word deal in the question box right now, knowing we've got a deal that if it is to be, it's up to me. Go ahead and put the word deal right now so I know we're on the same page. Awesome. Okay, Yvette, Amanda, Melanie, Octavia, Gina, Deborah, JP, John. Okay. We've got some action takers here. Beautiful. You got a nice crowd here, Phil. So we'll start off with a little question here. Brownie points to the winner. This is the amount of commissions that one of my clients made, roughly $250,000 in the space of 90 days after sending out a certain number of emails. Now, how many emails did she send out in order to earn $250,000 in commissions? Go ahead, type your best guess in the question box right now. How many emails did she send out to get that number? Tom says 500. Octavia says 100,000. 200 for Ward, 3,500 for Leroy, 2,000 for Donald, 1 million for Trisha. John says 1. 50 says John. Chopak, 250 for Graham. Okay. The closest person is actually John B. John, you said 1. It's actually 2. 2 was the correct number of emails that this woman sent to her database in order to generate that. Now, if you stick around, I'll be giving you the exact email she sent and showing you how you can do it to the folks who perhaps are just sitting there stagnant in your database. Now, I don't know about you, but how many of you are confused by the multiple options that are out there for digital marketing? Have you ever felt confused with all of the so-called gurus and experts who tell you you got to be tweeting this and you've got to be LinkedIn that and you've got to be Facebooking this? It can get pretty overwhelming, right? Even myself, many times, it's just too much. It's not your fault. My belief is just nobody's ever showed up and showed you the ways to do it properly. Phil was nice enough to mention that I had the honor of giving a TED Talk, and you'll see me on the right, and this gentleman on the left is a really brilliant guy by the name of Jake Roper. He's one of the 3 masterminds behind a YouTube channel that has combined views of over 1 billion views. It's owned by Google now. They bought them, smart guys. And one of the things he confessed to me backstage after, we both gave our talks and we gave each other high fives was like, man, it is really stressful to try to manage all of these comments and engagement and so on and so forth. He says, sometimes I'm up at night, looking, what are people tweeting? What are people saying on these videos? And I don't know about you, but that to me is not the definition of a successful marketing strategy, right? I personally love to use digital marketing to control it, not to have it control me. If you're of the same mindset where you prefer to control your strategies instead of having them control you, put the word control in the question box. I want to see who's with me in building a leverage lifestyle. All right, I got some yeps and yeses. Okay, Yvette, Melanie, Trisha, Chuck, awesome. Control, of course, says Trisha. Beautiful. All right, that's what we're all about, right? Getting that control. So I do have to tell you why this is different before I actually give you the techniques, because I don't want you to log this training class in maybe some of these other sessions you might have attended on this platform or other IMOs or FMOs have invited you on. Because what you're going to learn today is not based on theory or guesswork. Unfortunately, a lot of other training is. This is based on real-world experiments that have generated over $300 million in commissions. It's a form of social selling, not social media. Okay, this is not me telling you need to start posting on Facebook 5 times a day, but it uses one of the most common communication tools that frankly most gurus today push down, and that's email. Think about it. How did we get invited here today? Wasn't it email? Maybe you got a text message, right? Phil and I were introduced via email. I was asked to host this event via email. We today have become friends via email. But yet, somehow in all of the noise out there, people are forgetting about how powerful this tool is. But it's not only me who believes this. McKinsey recently did a study showing that social media marketing has a 40 times lower ROI than email. So why are all these people going around telling you need to be doing social media? Well, because they make money from telling you that. I'm here to tell you today that you could stick to a few core principles of email marketing and you could have all the appointments you'd ever need. By the way, if you stick around to the end all the way, I have a special gift for everybody that the Win Group wanted me to provide just as a courtesy to you to empower you in your email marketing, which is kind of cool. And at the end of the class, for those of you who want to take the next step and maybe work with us on a more intimate basis, then there's going to be a special opportunity that Phil will tell you about later. However, the goal today is not to sell you anything, but rather to give you a sense of control and give you a step-by-step strategy you can actually start to do right after we finish today. Sound cool? Okay. Phil was really nice to tell you a lot about my background, but real quick, I'll tell you that I'm just an ordinary guy like probably a lot of you. I just happen to have made a ton of mistakes along the way, maybe more mistakes than most of us on the line put together. I was part of a small startup that needed some exposure in the insurance space. And even though I had no idea what I was doing, it was my responsibility. Being from Canada and living in Chicago on a visa, all of a sudden made me super motivated not to lose my visa and not get fired. So I didn't have a marketing degree. I didn't have all the contacts. But what I did is I stumbled across some methods of using words to persuade people to take action ethically. It was some incredible research. I did lots of reading at the library, and I started testing it. And most of the time it didn't work. I've had a ton of mistakes. But when I found something that worked, I documented it, and then I shared it with a few people to see if it was a fluke or if it actually worked. Uh, Little did I know this is actually the scientific method, but I was just doing it as the Jeremiah method, right? And if it works, I would share it with other people. So for example, people like this who have since used this methodology, Paul out of Houston, he has had over 300 appointments in the last 6 months. Or this gentleman, Bill, out of Jacksonville, Florida, didn't even have a LinkedIn account, made 35K in his first 3 months and added 2 agents to his agency in 8 months. In the last 6 months, he's enjoyed 300 appointments. Alan out of Wisconsin, 237 appointments in 6 months. So while you may have just heard about me and my work, this guy the other day, he's the president of a very large insurance association, said, Jeremiah, I'm seeing a lot about you. It's like you're the overnight success. I'm like, yeah, the overnight success that took 14 years in the making. And since I've been sharing this story and these solutions with people, I've had the privilege of being invited to Fox News, TED Talk, probably one of the most humbling moments of my life. I've keynoted all over the country. And I only share that with you so that you know that these are working today. Now, here's how to know whether you are not doing what I'm telling you to do, okay? And I just want to put a yes in the question box if you're familiar with these symptoms. Do you find that you're not getting the replies to your emails that you used to? Put a yes. How about you're being overlooked by potential clients you know you could serve? You're looking the same as other advisors. Okay, I'm starting to get a lot of yeses. This is good. Lower number of referrals. You're not getting enough quality leads. Your calendar is empty. You're spending more than you should on marketing. Or your marketing methods aren't converting as high. If you have said yes to any one of these, chances are you're not using one of my techniques. This is just a little picture of my family and I. And the only reason I'm sharing this with you today, here's the love of my life, Anais, that's my wife, been married 8 years, is my wife and I spend a lot of our time in philanthropic and in volunteer work. In fact, we spend about 6 months out of the year giving to other people without any request for money. We don't publicly tell people about this. We don't have a charitable site or anything like that you can donate. We just go out, hit the street, and we work with people. We work with orphans. We work with refugees. We work with people who are drug dealers, drug addicts. We've done a lot of work on the south side of Chicago. We've lived in the Andes for 2 years working with families there. And this awesome guy right here, Richard, used to be a drug addict and a drug dealer. Now, it was pretty intimidating to start working with him, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm a tall guy, but Richard beats me by a couple of inches and probably by 80 pounds, as you can see in the picture here. So working with a guy who's coming off heroin like that is not too easy. In fact, it's downright scary sometimes. I'm happy to say that Richard today, fast forward years later, he's now back on the street, completely clean, but he's trying to help people on the street who he used to sell drugs to, if you can imagine. And I share with you that story because none of this is possible with running marketing initiatives that take up a ton of time, right? We have to have highly leveraged operations going on in our business in order for us to be able to do this. And whatever it is you want to do more of, whether it's spend more time with your family, whether it's to retire your partner from their work so that they can enjoy life, maybe it's to take those extra 2, 3, 4 vacations, maybe it's to take better quality vacations. I can tell you that by harnessing the power of what I'm going to teach you today at any level can help you give you a little bit more leverage and a little more lifestyle. So let's talk about the 3 core areas we're going to address today in your business: your use of email, LinkedIn, and making power connections. You probably want to write those down because we'll come back to them. Email, LinkedIn, and power connections. Let's start with email. I told you earlier that if you're going to spend your time anywhere, you're going to get a 40 times higher ROI spending it in email. So that's why I really want to encourage you to do that. Now, the big problem today that I've noticed is most emails that we write are long and boring. How many of you would agree that most people who write to you write long and boring emails? Put a yes if that sounds like you. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, long and boring, right? And the reason is it's not really your fault. What's happened is, and I'm sure you've written some, right? I know I have. What's happened is because we were raised to write, perhaps on typewriters or desktop computers before email, where we were able to write long letters and people had more time to consume long form copy, we've automatically transferred that to email. But haven't you noticed recently that the more that the emails you get that look like text messages, that you are more likely to respond to them? Right? How many of us have vendor relationships, coworker relationships, FMO relationships, where you don't even say the person's name anymore, you just start writing quick questions, right? Well, what if you were to adopt that to go to your prospects? If you're able to do that and know how to do it stealthily and ethically, you will be able to tap into this little piece of everybody's brain called the amygdala. And the amygdala is the brain center that regulates distraction. It's why when you're maybe watching television and a text message comes in and all of a sudden you jump into a conversation, or you're working away and Outlook sends you that annoying pop-up, right? Boop, a new mail has come in, and all of a sudden you stop your productivity, you jump into the email, and all of a sudden you're in the email hellhole, right? Where you just realize you got totally derailed. Well, let's be honest, everybody has an amygdala. Every person you're trying to get in a meeting with has an amygdala, and most people have no idea how to regulate it. So if we're going to be amazing financial marketers, we need to learn how to leverage that to our advantage. So I'm going to give you two emails here. The one on the right is one maybe you've written in the past. And by the way, you should swipe this, meaning copy it, because you can send it to people who may have blown you off. I mean, has that happened to any of you? I'd like to see a show of eyes here. If that's happened to you, just put me. Has you recently, the last 90 days, had a meeting, you thought it went great, you thought the person was going to invest with you or buy from you, and then you followed up by email and they totally went dead? Has that happened to anybody? Put me if that's happened to you. Yeah, okay. It's happened to quite a few of us, right? So here's something that you could test. On the right-hand side is kind of a traditional email, right? Dear John, we're always looking on ways to improve, and conversations with prospective clients like you are essential to the success of our business. I recently spoke with you about our service, and at the time it seemed as if we fit your needs. However, my attempts to reach you have failed. No matter the reason, I hope you feel comfortable in telling me if we're not a fit. Would you let me know if there's still an opportunity you're interested in pursuing? If not, I completely understand. Wish you all the best. Now, let's be honest. How many of us have written long, grovelly emails like this in the past? We all have, right? It's like that delicate balance between I want to look cool, I don't want to look desperate, but I do want to make the commission from the sale, right? It's a tough balance to strike, isn't it? Why don't you try this one on the left? Hi, John. You went a little radio silent. Would you like to discuss this or back burner? Best, Jeremiah. Which of these two emails comes across as an advisor who has authority, posture, success, and significance? Left or right? Post your vote. Left or right? Who's got the control here? Yeah, you guys all got it, right? Trisha, Daniel, Susan, Melanie, Paul, yeah. And the problem is, yeah, Yvette, you're right. The left is easier to do, isn't it? Instead of writing these long, grovelly emails. So that's the first email template gift I'd like to give you. Give it a try for the people you met with. You went deep in your sales process. Send that out. Here's the email gift number 2 I'd like to give you. This is the one-line email strategy. This strategy is so powerful when used in the right way. And it's actually the email that was used by the woman I mentioned earlier who made the $250,000 in commissions. Now, once again, I'm not promising you're even going to do anything with this, right? That you'll get any results. But if you can use it powerfully from time to time in your marketing plan, you will notice how it helps to shake the tree. The reason why this email that you're about to learn works so well is that at any given time, in any sales situation, about 8% of your database is actively looking for a solution to their problem. The other 92% are in latent pain. And this is verified by many studies in the sales environment, that 92% of people at any time don't care about you or your product. Only 8% are actually looking for the solution. And I would venture to say life and financial services is probably even less, because it's something people don't plan on, they don't think about, and they don't even want to talk about it. So our challenge is to shake the tree to find out who are those people. So this one-line email strategy accomplishes that without being annoying or being pushy. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to collect together all of your prospects that you've ever spoken to, but that never bought. Do not send this to people who don't know you. That is called spam. You can get a lot of trouble for that. But you can send it to people who you know, maybe they're on your newsletter list, conference attendees, networking meetings, whatever. Load them into your email tools, something like Constant Contact or MailChimp, and then you can send them this simple email. You ready for it? Okay, here it is. The subject line is either their first name or quick question. And notice how quick question has lowercase q's, because it looks like it was written from a human being and not a marketer. Always test your subject lines to write in lowercase. We've noticed that in our tests, they get a higher open rate. The body of the email reads, John, do you still need help with your insurance? Jeremiah, and that's it. See how simple that is? If you sell financial planning, maybe you change it. Do you still need help with your retirement plan, your financial plan, your annuities? Whatever it is that you offer at its core, use the general statement there. The other thing that's very important is notice how this looks like an email that fired off of my Outlook or Gmail or whatever platform I use, right? It does not look like a fancy graphic formatted email. This is very important. The email must come across like you shot it out of your inbox, very, very simply. Do not use any fancy formatting, as it will hurt your conversions, and people will tell this was not an email that was sent to just one person, it was sent to 1,000, okay? The only other thing I will allow you to do on this email excuse me, is to put your regular signature block. That's what you normally have underneath your signature line right there, okay? Now, here's some results that have happened in the past. One agent sent it out, got 8 contracts in 24 hours, leading to $10,000 in commissions. Another one sent it out to a database, got 324 leads in 2 days. Another one sent it, got 8,000 in commission in 2 weeks. And of course, I told you about Lynn's success earlier. Now, what if, I know one of your questions is, what if I have a small email list? Should I still do it? Well, I doubt it would be any smaller than this guy's. He had 61 people on his list. He sent them the email and sent me this email back, totally elated. He got 47 replies. He had 37 appointments generated, cross-sold them, got 29 new clients. And there's the whole list of other policies he sold. You see that? Unbelievable, right? From a simple email. Here's a picture somebody took of all the cases they wrote in 24 hours from that single email. So for brownie points, what is the first step you need to take to implement when you stop the class today? What is it that you have to do to move this strategy forward? I'd like to see your answers to see if you seized and got this correct. Okay, Stanley is saying make a list. That's right. Deborah, put together your list and send the email. Very good. Yep, you guys got it. Build my database, says David. Send it out, says John. So John, maybe you've already got it you've already got everybody together, right? So that's great. Let me go through. Trisha, what about past clients who haven't bought lately? Yes, that is also another good category. Very good question, Trisha. Okay, so those are 2 techniques I've given you so far. 2 swipe files, absolutely free, because we myself and Phil and the WebEx team want to give you lots of value today so you can start implementing this. Okay, let's move on to LinkedIn. Hopefully you've all connected with me on LinkedIn. I love to share cool ideas and techniques on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with me. It's free and I'm an open connector. There's two great reasons, right? LinkedIn recently did a study where they asked people who use an insurance agent, they asked people on LinkedIn if they used an insurance agent. Wouldn't you believe that 90% of them, 90, use an agent or a broker for at least some of their purchases. So if there's one social network we should spend our time in, isn't it the one where 90% of people already work with an advisor? Absolutely, right? Because we know they're comfortable with the process. We just have to figure out how to unseat the incumbent. Now, when they asked agents what their success rates were on LinkedIn, check this out. 43% had found a new client, 43% generated an opportunity, and 31% secured a meeting. Now, if you're not seeing numbers like this, please pay close attention. It's probably because you're doing exactly what most other advisors do and agents do on LinkedIn. They post their profiles, sometimes even without a headshot, ridiculous. They use it like a resume, and then they connect with other agents, people who work at carriers, and basically their competitors. But they don't do anything to reach out to people who are their desired target audience. This gentleman here was able to make the shift in his approach. Chris Shepard tried this with 20 people. He got 4 leads, set an appointment with one of them, on his way to make a commission $8,000 to $10,000. The other reason I love LinkedIn for you is because the people on LinkedIn make 3 times higher revenue than those on Facebook. So if you're going to be selling those whole life plans, IULs, life insurance, retirement planning, don't you want to go to the place where people have money? Absolutely. So let's do this. Let's just do a little fun test. I'm going to jump out of, let's go to this tab over here, and we're going to go to LinkedIn. Can you guys see my screen okay? Because I'm going to flip over to LinkedIn. I always find it's kind of fun to do live demos than it is to just show slides. So can you tell me right now, put a yes if you can see my screen. Okay, great. So here I am. So I'm going to show you now how to run a search on LinkedIn to look for your kind of ideal prospect. So let's pick somebody out of the audience. This is kind of fun. Would you folks give me as a city, a big city where you live near, and tell me the title of somebody that you would like to prospect. So I want to see like Chicago CEO or Minneapolis HR person, whatever. Okay, let's go Yvette here. Yvette, you're the first one to get it, so I'll just give it to you. Dallas and the owner, right? So we're looking for owner. I'm assuming you mean business owner, Yvette? Okay, looks like a lot of you are going after business owners, which is great because LinkedIn is where you're going to find them. So here's what you can do. You can start your search over here. And I'm going to put this in the top, but I'm not going to start here. I'm actually going to go down here, search for people with filters. Awesome. Now, what you want to do is look for people who are second level to you, which means they're not connected to you. And we're going to use one of the keywords that Yvette chose, which we're going to go to title here, and we're going to say owner. And I would venture to say, Yvette, you may want to test things like CEO, president, chief executive officer. Those would be other, categories you could test. And then we're going to try Dallas, Fort Worth area. Oops, I misspelled owner, so that's not going to work too well, is it? I never said I was a genius speller. I just know how to generate leads. Okay, so we're showing 3 results. Now that's pretty low. That tells you that that's not a big keyword. But what if we tried CEO? Right? Let's try that. Now we're getting somewhere. You see, Yvette, how you sometimes have to look at the different titles. Now we get about 4,000 results. Now the simple way to do this is to start connecting. You hit connect. And I do recommend that you add a note. And again, when you do a note here, don't tell people you want to sell them anything. That's the worst thing. Do something cool like, hey Ken, I just noticed we both do business in Dallas. I love the city. I've been here since 93. I thought it wouldn't hurt to connect. By the way, what's your favorite restaurant in Dallas? Using simple little questions like that make you look like a human being. And you know what they do? They help build a relationship. If you are always looking at somebody like a prospect, this is not the business for you long term. But if you can look at people like people first, and you can be a power connector where you care about the human being before you care about how much money they're going to make you, you will do very, very well in this business. So that's a little another script number 3 that I'm giving you for free right now, is how to interact and engage with people. Now, my little secret sauce is I tell all my private clients they have to be connecting with at least 50 people a day. Okay, 50 connection requests a day. If you do that, you should get, and write that down, 50 a day. You should be getting about 15 people a day that say, yes, I will agree to connect with you. And then you should be emailing those new prospects every day with, a value proposition. I am going to give you one here in just a few minutes. Now, if you're interested in taking this to the next level, I would recommend you check out Sales Navigator, because watch what happens to my results in Sales Navigator. I'm going to click down here. I have this in my account. It's $79 a month. You can upgrade on LinkedIn, but it just gives you so much more power. Look at this. Now I've got 124,000 results, because LinkedIn hides results on the free version because obviously they want you to pay for the upgrade. Plus, I can get a lot more detailed. Maybe, Yvette, you just want to go after small businesses, right? Well, we can go after small businesses. Only show me those that are 11 to 50 because you like working with small entrepreneurs. Boom, you're going to get that number. You see, now we've narrowed it down, 13,000. What about targeting people who have changed jobs in the past 90 days and helping them make decisions for their 401k? How cool would that be, right? They're going to do a rollover. You want to help them out. Rich opportunity. LinkedIn just kind of gives you this data for free. It's almost free, right? It's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, awesome. So let's keep moving here, because I still have a lot of things to share with you. Now, this is my overall methodology. If you're somebody who likes visuals, this may help you out to know what is the order to do things. So remember we started talking about your profile, how most people don't have a headshot. Some basic wins you can get right away. Number one, make sure you have a headshot and it's professional and doesn't look like you at your cousin's wedding. So many people use their wedding picture where they're wearing like a tux and a bow tie, and it's so obviously not a business setting. Just go ahead, drop the money, go to Sears, get them to do a headshot for you. Cost you less than $50 and you get it over and done with, okay? The other magic piece of your profile I would recommend is to use colors like blue or black in your background image. Blue conveys trust, honesty, openness. Black conveys sophistication, resilience, strength. So depending on your personality, those two colors are really good to put on your background. Next, your group selection. Instead of connecting in groups with other advisors, I recommend that you connect in groups that have business owners, CFOs, CEOs, HR people, the groups where your targets hang out. Join them. You can do it for free, and you can do up to 50 of them. And again, my secret sauce, 50 connects a day, 10 daily outreaches. Okay, those are the beginning fundamental elements. If you just stuck with that, you would be amazed at how far you would be 30 days from now, instead of getting distracted from a whole bunch of folks. Gift number 5 I want to give you. Gift number 4 was my personalized technique. Gift number 5 I want to give you today is what you say when you're reaching out to people. By the way, how many of you are appreciating the step-by-step tactics I'm giving you today? That this is not fluff, it's not hyperbole. In the question box right now, I want you to post one word that describes the training experience you're having today. Just one word. Okay, I'd love to see that to make sure that you are with me today and you are definitely feeling and loving the step-by-step techniques. One word. Cool beans, useful, awesome. I love the cool beans. Interesting, awesome, logical. Love, says Susan. Great, says JP. Thorough, says Robert. Effective, says Tom. Love it. Actionable, says Trisha. She said it twice. Thank you, Trisha. Informative, helpful, outstanding, very good. Awesome, guys. Love it, says Amanda. Excellent, says Rosa. Beautiful. Excellent, guys. Really appreciate that good feedback. Okay, let's move on to the fifth GIF I have for you, which is the 4-step goodwill campaign. This is what you can do after you connect with people, right? So they say yes. Now what do you send them, right? I'd love to give you something out of one of my playbooks. I have 9 different techniques to get in the door for financial advisors. This is just one of them. And what this whole campaign is about is adding goodwill, meaning creating that sense of reciprocity inside the person so they almost feel obligated to do business with you because you've been so cool and so helpful. All right? By the way, no secret here, that's exactly what I'm doing with you today. You may have never heard of me, and I've never heard of you, but today we get a chance to meet. I don't think it was by accident. I showed up today and I'm trying my best to deliver massive value that you should have paid for. Most of you have probably paid for courses that don't even teach you half this stuff. I'm giving it to you because I want to build a mountain of generosity between you and I. At the end of this, you eventually may decide to do business with me, Phil, one of our partners, buy my book, whatever it is, because I want to lead by serving you. So I know that eventually down the road, money will change hands. I have no idea what that looks like. But at the end of the day, if I served you, I feel good about it. Now, the way you feel about me right now, wouldn't it be cool if your prospects felt that same way about you even before you walked in the door? Well, that's what this campaign was architected to do, was to build the goodwill. So what you're going to do, your first email will be an email of value. So you connect, then you send them something. It could be a link to a blog post, a link to an article you wrote, an industry publication. By the way, guys, it doesn't have to be something that you wrote personally, okay? You can find a great article on Fortune, Forbes, US News and World Review. Your association publishes great content. Why not take that and share it out there? You don't have to be the one that writes it. 4 days later, you're going to drop something else of value, a white paper, report. Maybe you want a video teaching them, adding value, sharing with them how to make good decisions related to their different challenges in the world of finance and investment. And then finally, you're going to do your third email, which again adds value. In none of these emails do you ask for a sale, none of them, okay? You're only asking for them to open it. That's the ask. Then, after about 15 days of getting massive value from you, then you go ahead and you go for the ask. You see how powerful that is? Here's a sample email. Gift number 6 I want to give you. The sample email, actually this is 7. The last one was 6, this is 7. Here's a template you could use. Thought you might like this as the subject line. Hi John, just posted an article that shows how CEOs can improve their employee retention. I'd love to get your thoughts on it as a local CEO here in Dallas. Sincerely, Yvette. Right? Really, really simple, to the point, only adds value. One of my young clients got into this game, less than a year in the business. Within 45 days, he was outpacing producers who had been in it for 20 years. He was getting one new meeting with a CFO every week since he started. Jeff out of St. Louis, a guy who'd been in the business 20 years, decided to keep an open mind, started generating one new meeting a week with the CEO ever since he started. Now, if you're interested in taking a step forward and perhaps learning about how one of our programs can help accelerate you, I do want to tell you just for a moment about our private B2B breakthrough program, which is available at a discount through Phil and the Win Group. It's just the high level. I'm not going to go into a whole pitch about it. I just want to tell you what it's about so you know whether this is for me or not right now. This is a self-paced on-demand program. It's all virtual and all online, designed to help you get a constant flow of appointments with professionals. So that's whether you want to sell them B2B products like commercial lines or group benefits, executive benefits, or you want to sell insurance, IUL, retirement planning, annuities, whatever it is, your target must be people who are affluent professionals. These could be attorneys, the C-suite, people in HR, executives, business owners, CEOs. It is a limited program, meaning it isn't something we open it up to everybody. And we do have a double guarantee attached to it, meaning if you don't get 15 meetings in the first 90 days of you doing it, we'll personally get on the phone to help you out. So we have a meeting guarantee on that. Normally, this is a program that's out of most people's reach, over $8,000 to get started because it includes a lot of coaching in it. However, through this special relationship with the Win Group, you're not going to pay anywhere near that. Plus, they're also going to subsidize a large portion of it, which Phil will talk about later. But I just wanted to let you know that for those of you, because I'm seeing a lot of great comments here, and I know some of you don't want just little tactics, you want the whole strategy. You want to be able to do one thing day in, day out, and shut off all the noise and the distractions and just do one thing that works. Typically, our clients in the first 15 days learn how to monetize their current connections and your current list of folks on LinkedIn with appointments. You'll also learn how to optimize your profile so you convert more visitors to connections. In the following 15 to 45 days, many of you will start conducting your first sales meetings. And within 45 to 60 days, you'll start hitting a stride of appointments every single month and starting to scale it. You'll also learn some tools and technologies that'll help you to do this much faster, so you don't have to do any of it by hand. In fact, you can use simple software and even learn how to outsource it for as little as $5 an hour. This is an entire comprehensive 100% online program that is available to a few folks at the end. Now, the other thing, I want to teach you a few more things to help you get the most results here. So I just wanted to tell you about that program. The other thing that we've learned in doing our tests in LinkedIn marketing is that it's really important to have some form of authority. And authority is something that is transferred to you by somebody else. And in our case, we love to use the media. But the media has typically been a hard place to crack, right? To get yourself on television, to get yourself cited on the radio, to get yourself in a magazine, you got to pay a PR firm thousands and thousands of dollars on a retainer, meaning they promise to do their best, but there's no guarantee they'll actually do it for you. So we've created one of the only boutique pay-for-performance media companies in the entire industry. We've successfully gotten over 400 agents and advisors onto places like Forbes, CNN, Worth Magazine, Fox, CBS, ABC, all these different outlets on a guaranteed pay-for-performance strategy. Now, here's why that is so important in the context of LinkedIn and email. Especially when people don't know you, you need a way to be able to grab, sorry, my Skype is popping up. You need a way to be able to grab their attention and separate yourself from the competitors instantly. You need to be able to fire off that amygdala so that they get distracted by you, right? Not by your competitors. And in our field tests, we've noticed when we use brands, such as Forbes and so on and so forth, that we get an over 300% improvement in the number of people who say, yes, I want to connect, and yes, I want to meet. So we use a specific authority ascension strategy that I want to let you in on right now. And this is the way it works. Probably everybody wants to be quoted on Forbes and Wired and Fortune magazine and all of those great magazines, but there's a way to get there. And in this I'd say ecosystem today of fake news versus real news and how things are happening, it is getting increasingly tougher to get into these outlets. However, the good news is we've perfected a formula that cost me $500,000 to learn, and I'm going to share it with you right now. The first thing you want to do when you're getting in the media is to start off with a small affiliate network, right? The small affiliate networks are always on the hunt for new stories. And believe it or not, many times they're looking for things that break the monotony of bad news that's out there. So here you are, you come in and share a great piece of news on how Americans can be more successful in retirement. And we get you quoted on ABC. Now, this is what we would do for you. This is a done for you service. You can, of course, do it yourself. Go buy some PR books, learn the techniques, and learn how to do it yourself, and take your chances. But this is how we operate, in case you're curious. So once we get you quoted on one network, we've learned that it's much easier to then get you quoted on multiple networks, right? So if we got you on ABC, it's pretty easy to get you on Fox and CBS. Then once we've done quotes for you, we move on to getting a whole story done. And that's where kind of the game changes. Because now instead of you being quoted with other professionals, now we have a whole story about you, right? We have a professional published journalist who calls you, does an interview, writes the whole story about you and your views on the industry. We include a headshot, and you get a big, beautiful story that is syndicated across these outlets, as well as 350 other locations across the internet. Then once we've done that, then we can move to the next tier, which is places like Inc. Magazine, Huffington Post, Business.com. What are some new ones we added? Entrepreneur recently just came on board. The Next Web, huge, highly trafficked site. And then once we've done that, we can go to writers at Forbes and say, look at all the places that our client has been. We'd love for you to include a quote from them. Now, this is a pay for performance strategy, meaning that if you don't get cited, we don't get paid, okay? And Phil and the Win Group have developed a whole program to help you do that, even cover a lot of the cost of this as well, which he'll tell you about. But let's just do a quick recap before I pass it over to Phil. Remember today I gave you 7 gifts. We talked about the challenge that most of us are having today getting appointments. And we realize that it's because a lot of the hype that we've discussed, that others have discussed, is about social media in general. However, if you can master just the simple techniques of email marketing, using tools like the radio silent technique, the one-line email to your existing database, excuse me, reaching out to 50 people a day, emailing 10 of them, using a drip 4-step goodwill campaign, and then combining that with media authority, you really would be able to set your business on a whole new trajectory. I want to thank you for your time. I'll hang around. Oh, by the way, I do have a gift. So after Phil is done explaining how his offer works, I do want to give everybody on this line a gift from the Win Group and myself in order to help you guys be more successful in your email marketing. Phil, are you there, my friend?
I am here. Thanks, Jeremiah, for sharing these effective strategies around email marketing and social media. It's really awesome stuff. And here at the Win Group, we have a philosophy here. We really believe in a success breeds success mentality, and it's why we partnered up with Jeremiah and why we want to partner up with you as well, with advisors across the nation. Is what we do best. And a part of that is helping you take advantage of some of Jeremiah's programs, some of the things that he's talked about, that the B2B marketing breakthrough and some of the media marketing programs he has to offer. And we want to do that by offering an exclusive opportunity to get up to $1,000 credited towards one of these exclusive programs. By giving us a call, visiting our website to learn more about it, taking the next step at wingroupnow.com. That's wingroupnow.com. Learn about us. We're based out of Seattle. We really specialize working with advisors just like you who want to take their business to the next level. And obviously, you've heard some really excellent feedback from Jeremiah and some of the things he's done with other advisors. And gosh, just that alone, I think will take it to that next level. But to take it even further, we want to hear from you. So thanks for being on our call today, Jeremiah. I know you've had something to add to that, but we just appreciate you taking the time. We understand that time is money, so I think it was well invested.
Thank you, and thanks for hosting me, Phil. So again, based on the generous $1,000 scholarship that the Win Group is doing, just in case some of you are curious, in some of the programs I mentioned, this could pay in its entirety for the whole program. For others, it'll pay half, or more. So just an FYI, if some of you are wondering, how much will this work? I recommend that you give Phil a call here and be able to kind of work that out with him. And if you qualify for one of our programs, boy, we'd love to have you on. And I can't wait to hear your success story, because I love adding more and more success stories to our already enriched database. Let me go over here, and we're going to do something kind of fun with the handouts feature of GoToWebinar. Now, hopefully it doesn't break, but if the GoToWebinar hamsters are working well, I should be able to drop into your GoToWebinar handout section a cheat sheet. It's called Cheat Sheet, Top 101 High Converting Headlines. And that will allow you to write some incredible headlines leveraging some of the headlines that are already written out there that are performing wildly well in other markets. So this will give you a template to base off of so that you can test. Who knows, maybe you will come up with the next great insurance or financial marketing template. Last gift I'd love to give you all is my #1 best-selling book. So it was alluded to earlier by Phil. Thank you, Phil, for mentioning it. I recently wrote a book that became a #1 bestseller on Amazon called Shift: Digital Marketing Secrets of Insurance Agents and Financial Advisors. I'm going to bring you to a screen right now that will allow you to get the book for free. The book is available all the time for $20 on Amazon. I've had people tell me it's worth $2,000, and I'm very grateful because I've done my best to put at least 200 actionable ideas that you could use to generate leads. If you would like my book for free, in the chat box right now, I'm going to paste this link. It's freeshiftbook.com. freeshiftbook.com. It's free because I cover the cost of the book. All you do is cover the cost of shipping, $9.95. If you're logging in internationally, there's just a couple bucks more. All you have to do, and you can see what other people have said about my book, comes with tons of other bonuses as well. Just so you know, what we're doing with Phil, nothing of that is included in the book. So if you're really keen on the stuff from Phil, you have to talk to him. But none of that is included in the book. So if you have the book, you're still not going to get the stuff from B2B Breakthrough or the media stuff. They're completely exclusive. So you actually want to have both. But you can go ahead and grab that link, and I'll be happy to send you a copy. Now, we are running out of supply, meaning that we won't be running this promotion much longer. So if you're kind of on the fence, go ahead. If it's not, don't worry. You can always get on Amazon for the full price later on without the bonuses. Well, that about wraps up our time today, folks. I'm really grateful that you came out, you invested in yourself. Remember, whatever it is that you're doing out there, stick to it, turn off your blinders, and just get it done. There are so many ways to get distracted in this industry. My vision for you and my hope is that you will apply one thing today, don't do anything else until you get it done, and keep moving forward. Thank you so much. Keep making the shift, everybody. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.